Welcome to the Common Man Football Show. My name is James Coburn, and today's episode, we're talking about the New Orleans Saints versus Buffalo Bills Week 10 matchup based on analytics. Each week, I collect all of the current 2017 NFL team data in order to analyze and project potential NFL performance. And since it's a weekly collection, there will always be some variation each week, due to injuries and different other sort of ailments. However, there will always be little nuggets of truth that could become bigger nuggets of truth as the season continues. So stick around as I analyze each week's matchups based on analytics. And if you're new to the channel, all terms and definitions will be in the description. So starting this week with the comparison between the Buffalo Bills and the New Orleans Saints. When it comes to the NFL stat basic comparisons, and basic comparisons just looks at how the offense is doing, how the defense is doing, how the special teams is doing, and all that other sort of stuff. And again, all terms and definitions are in the description, so you can just go there if there's anything that you're not familiar with. First off, most of the data favors the Saints. That's kind of the first thing to get out there. The Saints are not heavily favored, but definitely have a sizable difference. 80.63 to 60.31 in terms of overall team strength. And let's get into why. So first off, on offense, big differences between the Saints and the Bills is one, the Saints offense is better in terms of offensive score percentage, which is the ability to score on every single drive or put points on the board on every single drive. Two, sack percentage. The Saints are better in terms of preventing sacks, and the Bills are one of the worst teams in the NFL when it comes to preventing sacks. So that's definitely a big difference between both these teams. Turnover ratio is more so with the Bills. So the only area on offense where the Bills are better is in terms of turnover ratio. Then when you get to the defensive side of the football, the Saints actually have a better defense in certain aspects. When it comes to defensive offensive score percentage, which deals with the opposite of the offensive score, basically the ability to prevent points on defense, the Saints are just slightly better than the Bills in that regard. So in terms of preventing points, the Saints are a little bit better. Creating turnovers is in the Bills' favor, so the Bills are better in terms of getting picks, interceptions, fumbles, stuff like that. Sacks is more so with the Saints than the Bills, which always surprised me about the Bills, but that's definitely another big difference between the two teams. And then when it comes to interceptions, the Bills are a little bit better than the Saints in that regard, which continues the theme of the Bills being a little bit better in terms of turnovers. But big things to kind of take note: sacks and the ability to prevent points, all in the Saints' favor, which to me gives the Saints a little bit of a lead or a little bit of a bump as having the better defense overall. Then, of course, when you get to special teams data, so this deals with punt return yardage, kick return yardage, defensive punt return yardage, and kick return yardage. Honestly, the Bills have it in most of the special teams data. Most of the yardage data, Bills are ahead. Defensive yardage data, Bills are ahead. Defensive punt return, defensive kick return. Field goal percentage, Bills are ahead in that regard. Extra point percentage, Bills are ahead. And then punting average is the only special team area where the Saints are ahead. So again, this is why the fact is the Saints are better than the Bills to a certain extent. But there definitely is some areas where the Bills can make some ground on special teams. But that's the only area where the Bills are dominated. But it's basically this. The Saints have the better offense in terms of putting points on the board, preventing sacks, all that kind of stuff. And they kind of have the better defense because of the ability to prevent points and the ability to create sacks. The Bills definitely have that ability to create turnovers. Not discounting that at all. But when you're going up against a team that doesn't turn the football over that much in the Saints, that ability to create turnovers may not be as impactful as you think it might. So all those reasons are kind of why the Saints are favored in this game. Now when you get to some micro matchups, so looking at things like completion percentage data and run first down conversion rate in terms of various situations, looking at the Bills offense versus Saints defense, the Saints defense is favored here, first and second down situations. Then, of course, you look at the Saints offense versus Bills defense. The Saints is favored. across the board, first down, second down, and third down in terms of their ability to create completions. And of course, you look at rushing downs. Bills rushing offense versus Saints rushing defense. In this respect, the Saints defense is actually favored here, but the Saints have the worst third down rushing D in the NFL. They're not that great when it comes to stopping the run in third down situations. So I do think the Bills will be able to move the chains in those situations is really all I'm trying to get at here when it comes to them. Then, of course, you look at the Saints rushing offense versus Bills rushing defense. In this respect, the Bills are favored here. Okay, I understand what people are going to say. Oh, well, the Saints are have an amazing running game. When you look at the ability to create first downs in first and third down situations, not so much. The Saints are the best rushing offense when it comes to creating first downs on second down. That's it. And if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm looking at all the second down running situations because those are the only times where the Saints rushing offense is amazing. Now, are those amazing plays definitely very impactful? Absolutely. But I do think that if you're a defensive coordinator, you need to take note of this. That most of the big plays that are getting first downs and getting big impact are coming on second down. So if I was a defensive coordinator, if I was a Bills defensive coordinator, I would be studying second down situations more than any other situation because that seems to be the only major down that the Saints run the football and have a ton of success. Then, of course, when you get to passing downs, Bills offense versus Saints defense, the Saints defense is favored here. The Bills passing offense does well on third down. That's about it. Below average in terms of first down, below average in terms of second down. This is not exactly a crazy big play offense on first, second down. A lot of what they're doing is trying to convert on third down. Having everything come to third down and having to convert in those situations. That's pretty much what the Bills have. So far, that's what their offensive philosophy has looked like on paper. Then, of course, when you get to the Saints offense versus Bills defense, in this respect, the Saints are favored here, second and third down situations. Then you get to sack rate, Bills offense versus Saints defense. Saints are favored here, third down and first down situations. The majority of the sacks that the Bills have been giving up have come in first down situations, and that's an area where the Saints are not amazing, but they are above average. So that's definitely the main down and distance I would be paying attention to kind of look for some mismatches and stuff like that is what is happening on first down that's causing this to happen. And then, of course, you look at sack rate for the Saints versus Bills. Saints are favored here immensely. Then you look at the Buffalo Bills offense versus Saints defense in terms of interceptions. And the Bills are favored here. I mean, the Bills are another team. They don't really turn the football over that much. They don't really throw picks. Better ability to not create turnovers than the Saints. So that tells you something about the Bills offense in general. Is they don't turn the football over. They're just not incredibly explosive as a offense, overall. And then finally, you look at the Saints offense versus Bills defense in terms of interception ratio. And the Bills defense is favored here on second and third down. Most of the interceptions that Drew Brees has thrown have come in second down situations, and that is definitely an area where the Bills have some success. So who knows, there might be some picks in this game. I mean, we'll see. Because there definitely is stuff in the data that suggests that the Bills are able to get turnovers, they're able to get interceptions, and this could be the week that Drew Brees throws a pick here or there, in this game. Now, overall thoughts on this game, I think it's a Saints victory. I mean, as much as I like the Bills, I really do like the way that this team is constructed. I think, offensively, they're doing a lot of positive things to win games. Defensively, they're doing a lot of positive things to win games as well. But they're not like a completely dominant team in all phases. And I think with the Saints coming to town, they have a very efficient offense that doesn't turn the football over a lot, offense that doesn't allow a lot of sacks, and they have a defense on the Saints that is good at preventing points, or at least as good as the Bills are in terms of preventing points. And I think that will kind of even things out a bit, on top of the ability to create sacks. I mean, it's essentially this, guys. The Bills have one of the worst offenses in terms of preventing sacks compared to the rest of the NFL. and the Saints have one of the better defenses in terms of creating sacks. So this is just going to be one of those games where I think that the Saints are going to have success on defense. They're definitely going to have success on offense, and I just think it will ultimately lead to a Saints victory. And of course, my name is James Coburn. You can find my other work at draftcoburn.wordpress.com. You can also follow me on Twitter at Geometrics. And if you like this content and you want more content like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Share this video as well with anybody that you know, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.